Let's talk to, why don't we go to the 713 area code? Who's calling today from 713?
Hi, David. This is Gabe. I'm from Houston, Texas.
Hey, Gabe, what's going on?
So I saw that poll that came out. I'm sure you saw it too, regarding AOC and Omar, how they're polling at, I think it's 22% for AOC and maybe 9% for Ilhan Omar.
Well, here's the thing. There's two polls that came out. One of them is only polling like white people with under 2 years of college education or something like that. That one is not surprisingly drastically understating the overall support for those members of Congress. There's another poll, which the numbers still aren't amazing, but they're way better than the ones Trump cited. So which of the two polls were you talking about?
I think I was talking about the former poll, the
Yeah.
one that has the lower results, because I've been hearing a lot of talk from conservatives that this will be used to kind of sideline or force AOC and the squad to be silent in their opposition to the establishment because they could potentially be harmful to the Democratic nominee. Do you see that as a potential kind of strategy used by conservatives, or should these poll numbers be kind of taken with a grain of salt?
Well,
Given
listen,
who
what you have to understand
they're
is
polling?
any poll, the country is more than white people with under 2 years of college. So first of all, any poll that tells you someone is popular or unpopular merely by polling white people with under 2 years of college education is not an accurate poll. So that would be a really stupid poll to use to justify those four members of Congress being a risk to the Democratic Party. What most importantly we have to think about is they don't have to even win over Democrats in the entire country in order to keep getting reelected. All that matters is their district. A lot of those districts, so certainly with AOC's district, and maybe also with Ilhan Omar's district, those are blue districts. And so the real challenge to those members of Congress is more likely to come from within the Democratic Party rather than from a Republican. And if you look at, I believe it's a YouGov poll, they still don't have the best favorability ratings, but they are slightly better than the Democratic Party in total, which means they're probably on track for reelection in their respective districts. So I just don't see the math justifying this concern that the right says Democrats should have about the four of them. They seem to be popular enough to get reelected in their own districts.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, of course, because obviously you look at people like Mitch McConnell is one of the most unpopular senators out there, but it's not like he's going to be potentially harmful to the Republican Party, and he has no trouble about getting reelected. Well, maybe he will in 2020. I know there's some opposition, but
Yeah.
obviously if you just take those numbers over to the Republicans, the math doesn't, justify that either.
Yeah. And I think the important thing to understand is even though Mitch McConnell's favorability in his state is not that high, it doesn't mean that Republican voters in Kentucky are going to vote for a Democrat. They might prefer a different Republican, but in the end, they'll still vote for Mitch McConnell. And the opposite is true in a lot of these Democratic districts as well. So I think that it's really kind of a very empty attack, at least at this point in time.
Okay. Well, glad to hear from you on that. It's been ever since that poll came out. I think a lot of me and my liberal friends have been kind of worried about this. So glad to hear an objective take on those poll numbers. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Great to hear from you. Appreciate the call.